I'm excited to introduce something that I've developed, the 25 string guitar. This is a transcendental spiritual manifestation of creative sound that is beyond all other sounds ever, well, manufactured through a beautiful device called a guitar. I want to introduce you to Bharat Mohan, who developed the Mohan Veena, this Indian guitar with 21 strings, and he developed it over 30 years ago, and it's really changed the way people listen to music, Indian style. We use an Indian slide, and this is the one that I got from India for Christmas. And I've made many changes from the 21 strings to 25 strings. I'm going to play for you the amazing sound that I get and explain also halfway through the video of the modifications that I've done to make this an original sounding guitar, and it is amazing as well. It's a new creation, and other people will be wanting to play these, I imagine. Leave a comment, connect with me if you'd like to purchase one, and listen to it enjoy. Well, greetings to you. I'm now, in this moment, very zen. This is very eclectic, sitar-ish sounding Indian music on a standard-looking guitar, so to speak. It's standard-looking because it's the exact same size, but it is actually a Veena, a Mohan Veena modified from 21 strings, which it originally had, to 25. I'm introducing you to what I call the Zentar, because when you play it, you feel very zen, kind of like me. I'm Yogi Zen, greetings to you, as I show you this amazing instrument that I've developed over the last, let me get the coloring right, the lighting right, the last the last 2 months. I got this Veena from India at Christmas. So I've been spending the last just 2 months, developing this sound that is amazing. It has so many unique qualities. I'm gonna have to change pickups here to show you what I've done. Let's see, here we go. Grab that. There we are. Now there we are. Okay, what makes this Veena, this guitar, this Zentar unique is the 25 strings. See, there are 13 strings in the very bottom, right here. Now, what's unique is all the strings are tuned to either D or G, and they have to be exactly in tune. So when I play one string, others play as well. So this is a resonating chamber box. One plays, many play. So 25 strings, about half of them are in D, the other in G. So as I play, there's groups of strings, these three together, which normally only had 2 strings. The Mohan Veena from India has only 2. I added a third. Gives me a much fuller sound. 2 is awesome, but the third, see that? And you accompany that with the bass. Now these 2 bass strings, besides the third one I added here, I added these bass strings here because there was a space between these playing string of the D here and here, and I'm like thinking, I really need the bass. I need the bass to follow, really be the groundwork for the whole intonation that I'm creating. And I call the sound that I've developed Antonier. Antonier. It's the sound of the bouquet of sound from this sitar-like Veena. Now the reason I use sitar is I used to play the sitar. The sitar, you're playing it and you're drawing your hands up and down while you're bending the notes, and I want all that, but you can bend the notes with the slide bar. The slide bar on here. You can bend the notes by just so it makes for a very unique sound that you never heard before. Now going back to the sitar, I needed the bass, but see, this is only like 25 inches between here and the top neck. Now the reason I'm showing you is I'm showing you the uniqueness of this particular machine, this Zentar, is that I've moved, here's the bridge, I wanted a deeper sound. See, the only depth I can get from these two bass is from here. I added an extra bridge up here. So now, check it out. This bridge right here and here gives me another 5 inches of deep bass. Is that sweet? So I got that deep bass that completely changes the whole instrument. So if you play a Mohan Veena, you're never going to get the sound until you add that length. So I'm encouraging those who haven't done it yet. You got all that space in between there to put your strings to get that extra oomph. So I actually had to add an extra nut to give me that extra string there. And then the other bass strings, they just weren't there. They just weren't deep enough. Is that cool or badass? Now, I want to show you these bass strings and the bar. This is a camel. This is a camel bone. I don't know what part of the camel, but bone resonating bridge. Now the bridge is very key because to get the buzz, the sound, the Middle Eastern sound, you gotta use these strings to give. See, this is very technical. The string needs to not sit on the bar, a bridge. It needs to sit, hover, just hover, not even a hair, smaller than a hair. It needs to hover in a way where it gets the buzz is not exactly right, but it's really close. But what's really off is the second one. So I'm going to show you how I adjust for the buzz to create the Antonier sound. Now, I want to let you know that when you use the guitar in the bridge, in a normal guitar, you never are trying to achieve the perfect note, the perfect sound, the perfect string. I have to do that, otherwise I won't get the resonance of the. See, that's not flat, it's just sitting just above the bridge. This is key to the whole sound. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this is the secret sauce of how I get the sound that is so unique that nobody's playing it like this on the planet. That's off. Here we go. I'm going to adjust it. Flat. Almost there. Try it again. Almost. It's just, see, I missed it. I missed it. Missed it. There it is. Now, is that amazing? I mean, like, we're talking, that's over the top badass. See, I grew up in the 70s and 80s and 90s when you heard the rock music, the heavy metal, but it only had 6 strings. But I loved the reverb, the deep bounce, the bang, and now I got all of that with the Indian Hindustani vibration. So I want to tell you another thing about the string that I'm looking for is I'm looking for 2 dimensions in the string. Many dimensions, but 2, because this is Just hitting it small, and then if I hit it twice as hard, see, you could not get that on a normal bridge of a guitar. You could not. It's impossible. I want dimension with that string. So you see how significant this is to the change of sound, tone chasing, sound chord changing, string perfection. Now, normally that would be flat. Again, just setting it like a bell. Now, does that sound crazy? I'm not putting any effects through here at all. This is months of dialing in this certain sound that I'm developing. So I want to tell you about the first string, the first playing string, normally only had one. Now that is amazing. One string blows my mind, but you know what? Two sliding strings, very rare. Very few people on the planet ever play with two. And one, listen, one, but not dimensional. Watch two. Oops, excuse me. Two. You see how much more dimension you get out of that word? So again, the Mohan Veena, the 21-string Indian instrument, they only have one string. I upped them the game. I got two. Hear that? One string sounds like this. Here, like this. Can't quite get the slide, but you can see that. And then two. Is that wild? Is that wicked? That's like psychedelic. So what I'm doing there with the two strings, I want to tune you into what I've done here. I've changed the string height on one of the strings to lower, so I can play one D and one with the slide, or both with the slide, or, well, let me show you. This is a very new, unique innovation right here. Okay? Right here, you see the two strings. One is slightly down on the bar, halfway, and the other is right on top. If they were both sitting on top, it'd be harder to reach and make only one of them play with the slide rather than two. They're too close together, but since I've lowered it, I'm able to hit them both. And then if I take it, the slide, I can do this. I can play just one with the slide, and then if I really want to accent and get two to play with the slide, watch. And now one. That's another cool innovation that I've done. So I made those changes. Now the shikare strings, the 3 strings that sit right here. See these strings? One of them is set here, here. These breaks give a different sound size. Heightens the otherwise this one, the D. This is maybe in G and D, but over here, longer. This gives you another dimensional sound. Now, I didn't like the 2, I wanted the 3rd, so I had to actually make a cut right here in the side of the bone and get that 3rd string in there to accommodate. So I made a few changes, and those are the ones I'm showing you. Now, also for my wrist, after playing for hours, the shoulder would get kind of jacked because you're holding it like, you know, a scarecrow. So now I got this rest. I built this rest. I was really attracted to the round shower curtain. I was like, I got to use that for something. And then that came together. So that's really nice. I'm able to just rest my palm there. So another change I want to show you is this bar. Okay, this is the empty space that didn't have the strings that I put. Now I put a steel half curved moon bridge, and then the strings give me the adjustment to get. So that is perfect. Now, to get the deeper bass change of, you might say, the sound heaviness or the lightness, I can go up, start from down here, all the way up. So that's obvious when you get closer to a string, but to actually utilize that for the whole intonation of the sound quality that I'm creating with Antonier, I play along the whole string. So the Antonier sound comes like the breath or the heartbeat. This is what I'm trying to replicate, is the boom. Your pulse of the blood is doom, boom, doom, 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 So you see, the Antonier sound is very intimate and like juicy. There's all sorts of ways to integrate your impression of the mood that you're drawing. And this instrument allows for more mood and penetrating into the brain. So with the heartbeat, this is very crucial because you see, you can create all music. You can close your eyes and stop light, but you can't stop sound. It goes right to your brain. It has the most direct effect on your consciousness. So sound, I'm living out here with the birds. I hear the birds and the wind today. That quality allows me to be more at peace, more at But as soon as I hear a car door slam, a chicken, a rooster, a gunshot, anything that's annoying brings you back into your central nervous system. You go, oh wow, there's a gunshot, there's a car, there's a rooster. Brings you back into your body. I want to be left out of my body. I want to be taken higher. So this sound, because it's in D and G, it goes right into your consciousness, into your brain, and into your heartbeat, into your fluids. And because your ear is so sensitive, it's creating vroom, vroom. See, I'm actually trying to create patterns. Like see, with these patterns, and thousands of years ago, the only people that could play music were the priests or the ones within the congregation. It wasn't just any average Joe that can pick up a synthesizer and play music like it is today. I'm going back to ancient, biblical, creative, juical, spiritual cracking open. I've actually got enlightened by playing and hitting the perfect note. Just hitting that note, and my mind went, ah, 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 and then it opened up other tissues, ah, ah, and then the third eye, beam, 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 crack. So I believed, and I know for myself, and actually reading and studying, that I want to show you this one book, not that I need to read it, but it has some great information that says through music to the self, meaning that we can actually raise our vibration and open up our being by sound. It goes beyond words, beyond reading, beyond somebody talking and manipulating. That the best videos, I think, on television are actually ones that have melodical sound where you actually are enjoying it rather than being told and instructed. So I'm here and instructing the way I've developed my sound, because I know that some people are very interested in what I'm doing, because this is the first time this is the release of the 25-string Zentar Veena that is actually should be in stores. I mean, people should have access to an amazing instrument like this. Now, I think it's amazing. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Maybe order one. Maybe ask me more questions about it. But I mean, just the amount of work that I did to give me this impression of perfect sound this is a life of devotion. I mean, to me, I want to have wings. You know, I want to have wings, and I think that's important, that we have a goal. And sound to me is amazing because it goes right to your brain and opens you up. That's why the sound today, it's all in 440. We should be in 432. That's hertz. The way people tune their guitars are all music. It's all incorrect. So all the music we're hearing only has 6 strings. It doesn't have the volume of the testament of what Indian instruments like the sitar created with all the sympathetics. Really hear this thing ring. I mean, it just keeps ringing, and that's the quality of the sound of machine that I want to play. So this Zentar, I even I wanted to hear more sound because it was being trapped by these holes. I wanted to have more sound in my face. Made this hole here. Now it's how I carry it. Amazing how it just all these things came together. So thanks for taking the 35-minute video to show you what I've been up to. But I've been planning on doing this video for over 2 months, but I couldn't do it till it was all set right. And the last things I put in were the, I only did that last week. Imagine not having that, not having it, not even having it, and playing it just the way it is. It sounded amazing, but I'm like, where's the deep bass? Where's the sound? So as soon as I put that on, I'm like, you know what? I have the greatest high respect for inventors like Eddie Van Halen. He took a guitar and he tweaked it, and he wasn't even a guitarist, but he was thoughtful and inventive, and he came up with something that nobody had ever really done. He made some modifications and some tweaks that blew people away. He was one of the all-time greats. He was like the Wolfgang, Mozart, Amadeus, Beethoven-ish of our time for the 70s and 80s. I had such a high respect for him. Now, I never played guitar before in my life until I picked this up 2 months ago. And yeah, I never had a guitar. I only had a sitar. And I didn't play that very much. But the thing is, I got so involved in this that now, as soon as I put those bass strings in, I'm like, wait, I've developed a Frankenstrat. No, he had a Stratocaster that he called a Frankenstrat because it was so modified and changed that it became the Frankenstrat. And so this is the Franken-Zentar. That's right. It's a Zentar, not a guitar, a Zentar, because I want to create the mood of... Well, listen to that. So that was really cool. Over and out, yogiZen checking in. I know it's been a while, but peace through music. And I think we should be playing a lot more now, considering everyone's so frustrated and unhappy. So that's what makes me happy, is playing this all day, all night, if I can.